Hi, it's Kim from Homestead Witchery. Today I'm going to show you how I butcher and process one of my roosters. We hatched a lot of them, about 12. We're down to 4 that we're not keeping alive. We're going to keep them in the freezer. And I'm also going to show you a recipe that I use with them as they go, because they're not meat birds. These are layer mutts, so they're kind of tough. Plus, they're kind of old for as far as eating a chicken goes. When you get a chicken from a store, it's usually maybe a month or 2, because the birds they use put on weight and grow really fast, and they don't move a lot. They just sit and eat. The ones that I'm going to kill live in a chicken yard, fight, they mate the other chickens. They're having a real rooster life, a real chicken life. They get to do normal chicken things, but that gives them musculature, not really a lot of fat. So you'll see a bit of difference in the way my chicken is going to look to the way the chicken you get from the store. So, and I'm going to do most of the speaking in here because it's really windy out and you're not going to be able to hear me over the wind. And I'm hoping that my camera doesn't blow over. But that said, I'm going to go check the temperature of the water, and if it's ready for scalding, then I'm going to go catch a rooster. Also, I skin my chickens because they're older, so I'm going to put them in the Instant Pot. I do a slow cook. Well, I do it in high pressure cook because it's the Instant Pot, but you could also braise it in the oven like coq au vin, or you can do like a braise or put it in that crock pot, because these are going to be tougher than your regular bird. So you have to cook it differently. These are not roasters or fryers because it'll be tough. I'm also not going to rest these because I go so quickly from killing to eating. Normally you would rest a bird about 24 hours because rigor mortis sets in and that makes the muscles tighten up. That's what makes things stiff when they die. It doesn't make for good eating because it's so tough. So you usually rest it for a day in the fridge. So what I'm going to do is put it in the Instant Pot immediately. If I have time and the energy to do a second bird, then I'll show you how I process that for the freezer. But again, I don't rest those. I just put them straight in the freezer, and then I just put them straight in the Instant Pot after that. I don't really rest my birds because the way I cook them means I feel like I'm okay not doing it. If you are about to do this at home, probably watch somebody else's video who has more experience. This is only my 3rd time doing this. So you're seeing a true beginner. And that's it, I gotta go check my water. I forgot to mention that I have great big cooking shears that I use to whack off the neck. I also have a really sharp knife that I got in the chicken killing kit that I bought on Amazon, and you can Google that chicken plucking kit. It comes with a little plucker drill thing. It comes with a plucker that attaches to your drill. It's okay, we used it once, but I can do it just as fast by hand, frankly, with this thing. If you have the big barrel kind that you just drop it in, that would be great. This thing with the great knife and the cone cost $60 shipped to my house. The giant barrel kind costs about $400, and we're not killing enough chickens for that. Anyway, I'm going to go get that going now. Okay, chicken got. See how much smaller it is than the chickens you get in the store? So I stick them in here. Actually, I put half a lemon inside. Just think it tastes nice. It gives you a really fragrant chicken. Then I add some apple cider vinegar. Garlic herb seasoning. And a little bit of water. You can use stock, but I don't keep this liquid after the first cook. He's going to go into the Instant Pot for about 35 minutes. That is the first cook, and then when it's done, I'll show you how I actually make the soup part. Well, the chicken's done, and I'm about to get all the meat off of it and put it back into the crock pot with the vegetables, and then I'll put the bones in the freezer. Once the chicken's in the pot, then I add all the vegetables. And in my stew, I like to have potatoes. This is 4 potatoes and an onion. Six carrots, because I really like carrots, and 2 parsnips, because that's all I had left. And then I add a little, this is actually beef seasoning from Penzeys. I just think it adds something nice. More garlic herb seasoning. This is from Costco, actually. Some thyme. I'm actually thinking about buying one of those hydroponic countertop gardens so I can grow my own herbs, because I'm tired of dealing with it's either 100 degrees or 32 degrees outside, and I'm done. Add fresh ground pepper. I'm done fighting with the weather for the year. I give up. And a box of stock. I also forgot something. I also like to add a splash of soy sauce for like an umami taste, and salt. This is actually truffle salt because I have it, so why not? This goes into the Instant Pot for about 40 minutes. Next, I'm going to put the bones away so I can turn them into stock later on this winter, if we ever get winter. Today's the 29th, so I'm going to put that on there. If you're wondering what happened to the rest of the offal, I gave it to Crow. He had that and eggs for his meal today. Can't see the date, so I'm going to put it on there again. And then into the freezer. I saved the wishbones to do wishing magic. Okay, my soup is done. It's pretty thin since I actually want it to be more like a stew and less like soup. I'm going to make a roux to thicken it up. So I'm going to show you how I do that. This is about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. This is about 3 slightly heaping tablespoons of flour. And so we just melt the butter and put the flour in and then cook the flour until it turns brown. It's basically making a roux. R-O-U-X, not R-U-E like my cat. I am going to whisk it once I add a liquid, but when I'm just browning the butter, I'm going to use a spatula. You want enough butter that it kind of makes a paste. I'm still figuring out ratios. I tried 1-to-1 last week and it didn't work very well. This is a little bit too dry. I'll show you right now what it looks like. I'm going to add a little bit more butter. Okay, I'm liking the texture that it is now, so I'm just going to start browning the flour. When I do this, I kind of want the texture of flour and butter to be like if I was going to make biscuits. Like it'll make little pea-sized balls when you rub it together. That's what I go for. It's starting to brown. Now you can see it's got a nice brown color to it, and now I'm going to whisk in some water. I am out of chicken broth, or I'd use that. I apparently forgot to press record a couple times because I recorded about 20 more minutes of stuff about the soup that I made. The reason you saw me adding frozen peas at the end is because I forgot to add frozen peas when I put it in the Instant Pot the second time. It turned out okay because if you add them late like I did, they don't cook as much and they still taste great once they warm up. So there's a hint for you, I guess. The soup turned out beautiful. It tastes great. Have you ever made anything from the very, very beginning, start to finish, like from bird to bowl is what I'm going to probably call this video. Have you ever made anything like that? And if you had, please drop a recipe down below because I'm loving finding new food things to try. And I think that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.